Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia. Welcome back to the TNT podcast episode. Insert number here. I forgot
Your
to look
best
it up.
guess.
Yeah,
Everybody take a
it's
guess. Who knows?
it's not like we had all the time in the world to prep
We
that.
were too busy
Oops.
talking about more important things like RGB power
True.
cables.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Look, he's not wrong. There are more important things.
We have a limited crew today, but we needed to record because otherwise we would have missed 2 more weeks, or this week and another week. So we have on my right,
It's Friedman, also known as Andrew, but mostly known as Friedman.
and on my left, he's been upgraded with Tyler not available
Yeah,
today.
fuck yeah. Call me the medium titty anime expert.
We're back to the triangle
Oh, boy.
instead of the square. But yeah, we have not a ton of news, and not all of it's good. But
A lot of things to be mad about this week.
yeah, so we got some news, but we gotta blaze through it. But yeah, so Aiden, this is I added this to the news back when I heard it, but do you know about this or no?
Yes. So, for anybody that's been paying attention, and this actually ties in very well to the next topic.
That's why I put it in this
Well,
order.
Yeah. Over the last few weeks, specifically, I believe on July 3rd, so at the beginning of this month, Final Fantasy 7 or 14, not 7, 14 popped off. Asmongold streamed it to a concurrent 250,000 players.
Holy
Oh, wow.
And there were
It's good advertisement.
There were 1 million unique viewers on that one stream.
Wow.
And like he has consistently held a viewership of like around 100K. As a result, and I mean, grant it's not just him, he's just the biggest one. Like Summit 1G has been playing, Co-Carnage has been playing,
Everybody.
you've got Annie Fuchsia playing. Like a whole bunch of people that were in WoW at one point have now all started playing Final Fantasy 14 all at the same time. And the servers took a shit. They ran out of digital codes because there were just too many people buying the game. For a short time, you just could not make a character because there were no more
There's no spots left on any of the servers.
This has
I can't believe it.
This has since been rectified. They did come out and make a statement about like they're putting a few more $1 million into server infrastructure, so they're going to be opening up a bunch of new servers.
Yeah, cloud architecture, yes.
This event, funnily enough, brought about probably the greatest innovation that I've seen in an MMO, and that is kicking players that are AFK.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I heard about this one. Everyone's mad.
And apparently that like was a big deal for a lot of Final Fantasy folks.
Fucking
Because
losers.
they've never had that. Like
Okay.
up until recently, you never got kicked from the servers for
You just
AFK.
hang out and shitpost and map chat, and that's all you had to do.
So, but
Now
here's
it's
the
you have
thing.
to play the game.
So the reason this was on the news, this was the first thing listed. I listed this like 2 weeks ago because there was a post on Reddit that got super duper big from I don't know what his role is.
How about Yoshi P, the director?
Okay,
Yeah.
he's the director of the game. He did this super huge post that was put on Reddit. Producer. That was put on Reddit. I don't know if he posted to Reddit or someone put it on there. And it was like fucking an essay about like the server infrastructure struggling and trying to find parts and like how much money they have to spend and everything, and apologizing for all this. And it was super sick good communication. And I believe when I read that, it was like, we only kick you if you have 0 activity for like 30 minutes straight or some super generous number. I don't think it was like if you're inactive for 5 minutes or if you're still typing, you're inactive. I think it was like literally no inputs detected for 30 minutes, then we kick you.
You don't know how important that 30 minutes of AFK is to my life, Tim.
Yo, you gotta put on your scantily clad clothes and go AFK dance in Limsa Lominsa. All right, that's what everybody does.
Nah, but I just think it's really cool that this game is doing so well so far in. This is shocking how long it's been.
Even since the you don't really see that stuff like this happen very often. Like this game
Final Fantasy already did it once, and now it's doing it a second time. Like A Realm Reborn was magical, and now this is just a rebirth in the player base.
Yep.
Yeah, and like we have the new expansion coming at the end of the year, and like everybody's super hype about it. And a lot of it has been very refreshing to see how the development team actually like communicates and like treats the player base. Like they're just very humble and they explain what they're doing and exactly why, and I just don't understand why that's not more normal.
It's weird. I've noticed. So I'm not going to compare Final Fantasy 14 to Fate Grand Order, but in terms of how much money they pull in, they're actually on a pretty similar level. The communication, like these weekly updates from the developer, at least for the Japanese version of the game, it's very odd, especially for a gacha mobile game, to have this level of like not responsive, just like proactive communication. Like with Guild Wars 2, they went through eras of being very open and then be like, oh, we fucked up and the community's mad. Let's go back to not telling them anything so we can't disappoint. And I feel like every developer trends towards that eventually. But with the Japanese, they're just very consistent. Like, hey, we're gonna let you know what's going on.
Which, you know what? God bless them.
We need more people like Masahiro Sakurai giving us like 30-minute gameplay demonstrations every time they add something to their game.
Hell yeah. Hell
yeah. Oh god, too bad we're not gonna. I forget. Do we have another character coming for Smash?
There's one more character.
No, because it's just funny.
I'm ready for the salt.
It's just
who's
funny
it gonna be?
It's funny you say that because it makes me think. Oh man, even though I didn't care about any of the characters that have come out, and I don't even really care that much about Smash, those videos are pretty hilarious to see him sit down and explain how every aspect of a character works.
That's why it's when he like subtly roasts his development team while he's doing it.
But you know, for all good things, all good decisions that are made in relation to an MMO, some companies who make very famous MMOs are not doing as well. In fact, maybe a little indie developer you guys know is Activision Blizzard.
Oh my goodness, the small, the little engine that couldn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, whoo, they fucked up. They fucked up.
So we're not going to spend too long on this because it's a developing story. But
yeah,
the state of California filed a lawsuit for, oh god, what was the exact?
Like over 1,000 verified complaints or something.
Some crazy amount of like allegations against Blizzard for, were they like all gender discrimination or something like that? And there was
it was a lot of different things.
There's a lot of different things, like they're like drinking in the workplace and like sexually assaulting their female employees. I mean, it gets progressively worse. Yes. Like with the most extreme case being such an egregious case of sexual assault and harassment that it resulted in a suicide.
Yeah.
The court will decide ultimately whether or not like that was the determining factor, but I think we can all fucking say that that's probably the case.
It's one of those cases where, look, if someone does something like that, I mean, if it's even tangentially related, it's not a good look, and obviously it can get way worse, and that's not up to us to decide. But just the fact that it even is mentioned is
so it's literally ranging from like sharing nudes around the office to actual suicide as a result of the sexual harassment. So, and this has apparently been corroborated by like a bunch of current and former Blizzard employees.
Like verified former employees
that came out and were like, yeah, this is the way that it's been, and they haven't done anything about it. So, you know, apparently a lot of people in high places just looked the other way on this one, and you know, here we are.
Yeah.
So
not a good look.
Not a good look at all. And
on
like
top of
Blizzard,
that, you've got the conflicting messages. Like they're releasing a lot of internal memos saying like downplaying, this is not real. Like don't listen. These accusations are fake.
Yeah.
And then you also have like higher ups who are like, oh, we're sorry. We didn't want this to happen. And it's just like,
sorry.
You're apologizing. You're saying it didn't happen. Are you fake apologizing? Like what's going on here? And it's that confusion.
It's shit's fucked up when you get 3 different statements that are completely tonally different from 3 different executives. Like Blizzard is in chaos right now. Like they've halted development on WoW to figure this shit out now. And like they need to like fucking stop and figure their shit out.
Yep.
Cuz they're obviously like not in a good way right now.
Nope.
They have like a walkout staged on Thursday.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Wow. There's like 1,000 employees that are
general strike
planning to. Yes, they're planning to strike on Thursday.
Well, I know that there was also that 1,000 employees who signed that. That letter or something, or it was like 800 employees or something. I forget, but it was a lot of people from inside Blizzard who were like, "Yeah, we do not like the stance our company has taken in response to these allegations at the base level."
Yeah, like
which also isn't a great look.
They all signed like a letter saying that like the statements that Blizzard came out with about these allegations are like abhorrent and do not at all reflect like their actual like what they're actually doing, because obviously nothing's been done for 20 years. So like, you think that's going to change now?
Yep.
One thing to come out of this to kind of tie it into what we were just talking about, like Final Fantasy XIV swelling, is I saw news on Monday that ever since the news broke on this, they've halted active development of WoW. No work is getting done until this shit gets resolved. So, like, WoW's already in kind of a touchy place right now. So that on top of this Final Fantasy XIV boom is, for Blizzard fans, a very weird time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going well for Blizzard at the moment. Like, but you know what? All hail Final Fantasy. Praise be Yoshi P, our Lord and Savior.
Speaking of MMOs, still. Just because Final Fantasy's in first place doesn't mean Guild Wars 2's time in third place is over. We're holding on to that steadfast.
You know, how would we? Hold on. How would we go about finding out what the ranking is right now?
Absolutely no clue. No one shows their active numbers. You go by Twitch, and Twitch is a little weird because Guild Wars. So anyway, the topic: Guild Wars 2, the new expansion, End of Dragons, just had their big first gameplay sneak peek stream today, where they showed off like what are the new legendaries going to look like. Spoiler, they kind of suck. What's the new mechanic, which is going to be boats and fishing, because this takes place in one of the, I think it was the second expansion for original Guild Wars. It took place in this like coastal region, so they're really going in for it. And I'm not upset, because there was another MMO called Arcade. It was all about like building vehicles and shit. And I played that at launch, and I fucking loved the boats in that game. So seeing they're bringing boats to Guild Wars 2, I'm kind of entertained. We'll see what happens. I don't think their engine is like made for this, but we'll see. Among other things, they tease like for the next like 8 or 9 weeks, they're gonna start showing off more of the shit that's in it, and then they confirm like February release date. So a little far off, kind of shitty. Still trying to be a relevant MMO in the current year, but we'll see.
You know, I did like
Guild Wars 2.
I liked it, but I don't know, man. There's just something about it. It just didn't drive me.
It's different from the others.
All right, so
anyway,
I just Googled most popular MMOs. That was it.
Okay, what do we get?
So the first website
Don't
is
say
called...
RuneScape. Don't say RuneScape.
So the first
RuneScape's
website...
going to be in like 4th.
No, hold on. So the first website... There's 2 websites I clicked on. The first website is called beststreamer.com for most played MMORPGs of 2021. I don't know when this article launched. From 1 down to 10, WoW, 14, Old School RuneScape, Classic, Elder Scrolls Online, RuneScape 3, Black Desert, Guild Wars 2, EVE Online, SWTOR.
Goddamn, we're losing to Black Desert Online.
Hold on. This is just one website. I went to another website called MMOpopulation.com, and their top 10 is WoW. See, this is where it's even weirder. WoW, Destiny 2, Old School RuneScape, Final Fantasy, WoW Classic, Roblox, Elder Scroll Online, Elite Dangerous, RuneScape, Guild Wars 2. And then Star Citizen at 11.
Okay, we've got to clarify something here, right? Just because you have multiplayer.
No, I know, and that's why I'm saying
online, because Old School RuneScape is on mobile doesn't make.
No, look,
like having multiple players online does not make you an MMO. Roblox is not an MMO.
I'm not disagreeing at all. I'm just saying this is where I got what I got from.
Anyway,
I mean,
like all of these articles were published at the beginning of the year. And
point is, Guild Wars 2 is not the most played MMO, but I still think it's good.
Ahead. Sure.
Anyway,
it's good.
Anyway, this is my chance to advertise. It's free to play. Go try it. It's like the entire base game is free.
Also, just so you know, Final Fantasy XIV is free up till level 60, including the critically acclaimed Heavensward expansion,
including like
with no limits on
of
play
current endgame is free to play. Anyway, let's move on. Let's stop talking about MMOs and start talking about CCGs.
How about we still tangentially relate to Blizzard? Unfortunately,
it's not Hearthstone.
No. So, as fans of the podcast and the channel well know that some of us, like me and Freeman, love Magic.
Big surprise, I'm sure.
And over the weekend, we had a leak of a new set coming to Historic. Historic is Magic's
non-rotating digital eternal format
for only Arena. And we had a leak of a new set coming, like Historic Horizons Jumpstart or some shit. I don't know.
Jumpstart Historic or something.
Whatever.
I don't know.
Who cares? The name is stupid. But it's like Modern Horizons recently, which was so good. It's crazy. This set is supposed to introduce. Oh, you know why it's called Jumpstart? It's because it's Jumpstart packs again. It's the seeded packs.
Oh, the themed packs. Yes. Gotcha. Okay.
So we have
original
these packs
Jumpstart
coming.
Was awful to open that.
Well, and it sounds like it's awful to open on Arena. Saffronol was tweeting stats about how to get certain cards, and there's almost no.
It's a giant cash grab. It fucking sucks. It's that, or you waste your wild cards.
But the interesting thing is that Wizards has intentionally, for the first time ever, made cards that only work in digital. These are cards that physically cannot be printed to paper, including new mechanics such as Seek, which says this card randomly pulls something out of your deck that meets certain criteria without shuffling. Because it will just the computer will just get something for you out of your deck, not reorder itself, but you have not looked at it and gained information, so there is no reason to shuffle. Physically couldn't do that in paper.
So you could. You need to call a judge and say, Judge, look at cards on the top of my library till you find one that hits the conditions. Pull it out, put my cards back. Done. That's the only way if a third party is.
But that's also not
running
random
the
because they're just finding the first one possible. They would have to.
Yeah, if your deck is shuffled, it should be random. Oh no, unless you manipulate the top of your library. Anyway,
well, what if certain judges just grab the first card off the bottom? Then it's not random. What if certain judges just? Either way, it's a mechanic that is designed to only work. There are other ones though, such as a new Planeswalker that says, "Hey, I have a list of 8 good effects and 8 bad effects.
Oh my god.
Every time you use this ability, I will randomly pick 3 good ones and 3 bad ones, and you must pick one of each out of those sub-lists that I give you every time you activate this card." Ridiculous.
Oh, I know why they're doing this. We'll double back to this.
So, and the final crazy thing, because this is impossible to track in paper, is persistent abilities, which are things where cards will have persistent increases in power, persistent decreases in power, persistent changes in casting cost, no matter where that card goes for the entire rest of the game. It could go to
those
your
who are less familiar with Magic. When cards change zones, generally anything they had falls off, and the card is just whatever the card reads. And until now, there's persistent shit, which means it sticks with it. Those 1/1 counters, when that card gets shuffled into your library, those 1/1 counters are shuffled in with it. So actually undoable in Magic.
Actually impossible to do in paper.
Unless you want to Sharpie your cards because it's permanent. It's Sharpie your inner sleeves.
But this is Magic going full digital for the first time. It's been pretty controversial. I think a lot of the big players in Magic are like, yeah, it's fine. It's a digital only thing. But a lot of people are also like, this means there are now things you physically can't play in paper. Historic is now officially never going to be a paper format.
So I'm kind of excited. As someone who plays Arena and who plays paper, I'm fine with this. I think it's okay for there to be a separation, and especially as a developer, seeing someone take the game of Magic the Gathering and say like, hey, like we can't do a lot of these things because paper kind of sucks. Like one of the things they do all the time in paper is create a token that's a copy of this creature, and it's like to do that in paper like actually blows. Like you either have to have these empty token frames or like whiteboard cards. It's obnoxious. And as someone who plays Felden, whose whole gimmick is make a copy of shit in your yard, I fucking hate it. On Arena, it's super convenient because they just make tokens out of thin air, and it's really nice and it looks good. But then you have the whole downside of everything involving a token and how it makes bounce effects weird, or even like creatures dying plays weird with tokens. So they kind of one of the mechanics where they let you literally just like summon a card into the game. I actually prefer that over existing methods that they have to do to make it work in paper. So there are certain scenarios where I think this is really cool. I understand the idea that Historic is now the Hearthstone format, where Wizards is trying to solve the problem of how come the guy who goes first always wins. And the idea is to create these cards that have an absurd power ceiling, but they're random, so you can't always count on them being their best, and it creates these swingy games. So going first isn't a like 60% chance to win that it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So like I personally get it. Realistically, I wish Modern was also a legal format in Arena to kind of separate these two, being here's the eternal non-digital, here's the eternal digital.
So a lot of people were like, man, it would have been really great if they didn't basically cancel Pioneer on Arena, because Pioneer could have then been the format.
That would have been what we were looking for,
that
yeah.
was eternal, whereas Historic is literally just fucking crazy. Brainstorm was just banned in that format.
Brainstorm was legal in this format for more than 5 minutes. That's how crazy the format was.
Dude, on the MTG Goldfish podcast, one of the guys on there is like, I don't really think it should have gotten suspended. I don't really think it needed to.
I mean, it's a good card.
But like, it's just like, no, this is the defining card of Legacy. There's no reason this should be legal in Historic.
No. But anyway, yeah. To wrap it up, I'm fine with it. I'm cautious because I feel like they're just gonna print broken shit for a while. But I like the idea of it. Like at the end of the day, Magic is a game, and this seems like it's fun, and I want to have fun playing this game.
What is this video game?
I didn't hear anything about winning. This must be loser talk.
This must be loser talk.
All right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Magic makes a harder push for digital only stuff.
See, but here's the flip side, Aiden. So we didn't actually add this to the list, Friedman, but just yesterday on Mondays, Magic had their look at us, it's our earnings call.
Oh,
and
no.
They said, I believe from 2019 to 2020, Magic literally 50% growth. Or some
collectibles market.
Aiden, you don't understand. I can't remember the numbers. I'll look it up on Twitter while I'm talking, but like the growth in Magic from 2019 to either 2020 or now is actually insane. And while a lot of that is Arena, so much of it is paper cards. Modern Horizons 2, Freeman. I know Saffron have tweeted this. I'm going to try to find his tweets. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so on today's Q2 2021 earnings call, Hasbro CEO says that Wizards revenue more than doubled when compared to Q2 2019. So in 2 years, they have doubled revenue. Doubled.
No, I'm not surprised.
So here's the flip side of
if they go full digital, man, I could see a fucking 400% increase. You get the whales, man, and you get money from literally nothing.
But here's the thing: you're also getting so much money from these paper people like Commander players. Commander players are floating paper at this point.
Yeah, they're paying for everything. That's why every set became a Commander set, because they're the ones who buy paper.
Can you buy specific cards directly from them, or is that all?
Well, only through secret layers right now.
So they will give a specific list of 6 cards you can buy in a bundle from them. So it's not like you can buy whenever you want. It's like a limited time offer, loot box.
Because I feel like a lot of the money floating around for Magic the Gathering cards is like the secondhand market.
Secondary market, yeah.
I got this from a booster pack. I was super lucky. This card's $1,000. Buy it from me.
So you know what's really funny though? Apparently, Wizards has been operating at a 47% profit margin.
That's gross.
Yeah, you know what's gross? How shitty Arena still is, and how all these devs how few devs they have working on everything.
Dude, they fell for the classic blunder. They're like, why do we pay for IT? We already have the product. And it's like, that's not how it works. Like, maintenance is a thing.
As a developer who also doesn't get paid, I can understand why their game is still shit. I wouldn't want to do anything either.
Digital is going to be a growing part of Wizards' business, but we still expect tabletop to also grow, but mobile is now becoming very online on the on Arena.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to separate these markets as opposed to having like digital overtake paper. Yeah. They might just want to try and grow them both a little bit more distance. That way they don't cannibalize each other.
That would be the smart thing to do, but all it takes is one greedy executive to go, oh hey, these are
what if we sell Black Lotuses for $1,000 on Arena? Like,
yeah, there you go. It's the way it is, man.
Also, I found the quote that Strixhaven and Modern Horizons 2 were record releases. Whether that I don't know if that means they broke records, but I have to imagine that with Mystic Archives and Modern Horizons 2's crazy success, they are both doing very well, considering how many people are desperate to play Modern again after COVID, with COVID on the decline, hopefully. And Strixhaven's Mystic Archives being a fucking absolute slam dunk home run that I really want to come back. Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised that those two sets did really well. You know who's also doing really well, even though it pisses people off? The Dell Corporation.
Dude, get a Dell.
I forgot Dell still existed. Honestly.
All right, so
Alienware exists because of them, Aiden. Calm down.
Oh my god.
Guys, if you're buying Alienware, you're fucking doing it wrong.
Freeman,
right, hold on.
You just missed Freeman's story.
Hold on, I'm going to recap the story. So our company has a contract with Dell. So as long as we're buying off their website, we get the company discount. Our manager's like, hey, you guys are developers. Your current laptops keep catching on fire. Get ones that can cool themselves. And we're like, all right, cool, we'll do that. So we look at everything in Dell's lineup. And we're like, which one actually like can cool what we're doing? Where it's basically just we're running like 4 instances of Visual Studio at the same time, which is kind of demanding. So we're looking at these and we're like, well, like let's look at the gamer laptop series. Like they have integrated cards. They have enough cooling to cool a 2060. What do we got going on here? And we saw the Alienware laptop had by far the best cooling. So we were like, well, fuck it. It's actually only $50 more expensive than their like souped up XPS 15. So we submit it to our manager and she's like, what the fuck are you guys smoking? I am not buying some rainbow unicorn Cybertron shit, which I think was exactly what she said. And we're like, oh, come on. It'll be fine. She's like, no, pick a normal looking laptop. So we picked the XPS 15, which has shittier cooling, shittier port selection, sleeker design. I don't know. Whatever. We'll see.
More corporate. Gotcha.
Yes, it blends in a room. The point is, my sister ended up getting that XPS laptop for her birthday. So I go home and she's got it, and I'm just like, holy crap, this thing looks ridiculous. It has like 2 LED light rings on the back, the keyboard, it's got the full range. I'm like, oh my god, no wonder our manager said no. This thing is literally unicorn vomit on Cybertron. Anyway, the XPS laptop, the Alienware laptops have pretty good cooling. But we're here to talk about their desktop division, which is drawing a lot of heat from gamers right now, and it turns out it's drawing heat for absolutely the wrong reason. So what happened this week is if you tried to buy Dell's newly launched XPS desktops, they don't ship to California and several other like West Coast states are all part of this one.
Oregon, Washington.
Yeah, they're all part of this one like trade coalition. Point is, everyone's like, what's going on? California is limiting how much power consumption individual electronics can use, and it's part of a rolling plan. So this isn't California suddenly saying, "Fuck you, gamers! Now that you have your 2090s, we're not letting you buy any pre-builts." What's actually happening is, in 2016, they started rolling out like you need to be under these guidelines for certain products. And while it may seem like they want gaming computers out of the market, the real thing is that Dell doesn't know how much power these these desktops actually consume. Dell went with very questionable hardware selection process, so they don't really know for certain what each motherboard is operating with. They don't really remember the configurations because it's fucking Dell and they just make 1 million of them and ship them out. And they didn't want to pay to have them individually open, verify for how much power they're consuming, or even just to do a line before you produce a batch of them. So because they don't want to actually measure their own power output, they're just saying, well, fuck it, we don't qualify, we're not going to ship there. And the only reason their shareholders are not reaming them for this is they keep selling out regardless of how many they produce. So even if they don't sell to this West Coast trade coalition, they're still going to sell out of the current XPS line based on current market demand in the remaining 45 states. So Dell is not getting punished for this. Instead, it's just like, we'll redesign it and sell it to California later. Is basically what they're thinking, and it's the dumbest marketing strategy that only works because we're in this shortage. And gamers were already mad at Dell because Gamers Nexus did a big breakdown of the XPS desktop and just showed how awful of a cooling solution Dell came up with for this. Where it's literally like the power supply, instead of being bolted to the case like normal, it's on this hinge, but the hinge comes in and puts the power supply right on top of your air cooler.
Oh my god!
Your CPU. So you're choking the whole system, and now they're using Ryzen, which needs cooling for the VRAM on the motherboard, which there's no heat sinks, and the only fan that's meant to pull air away is now blowing it into the power supply that's less than an inch away from it. So they got reamed for how poorly designed the new XPS desktop lineup is. And now it's like, well, fuck you, we're selling out, so we're just not going to sell it in 6 states.
Okay. I feel vindicated in my statement then.
Anyway, lo and behold, everyone's angry for absolutely no reason. Don't buy an Alienware desktop. Just don't do it. If this story didn't convince you.
I guess we're moving on from one angry set of gamers.
I can't stay this angry for so long.
Pokemon Unite is this here's the MOBA, right?
This is the MOBA. It just came out for Switch, coming out for mobile, I think in like a month or so. I haven't played it because you need Switch Online, and as everyone knows, I'm boycotting Switch Online until they make it free. Never gonna happen, but still. So Pokemon Unite comes out. I watched a lot of the gameplay footage of it. It basically just feels like baby's first MOBA because it's meant to be just like kids Pokemon. Let's like put it together. It's not too mechanically intense. And, it's Pokemon, so people are going to play it. I'm not going to lie. I'm mega curious about it, too. If Pikachu didn't say its name literally every time it auto-attacks, this would be a phenomenal game. But there's problems with it. But the big problem that we have right now is, like any other MOBA, it has, like, a slow progression track that lets you to just get enough currency to buy more characters and whatnot. And then, of course, they have the loot boxes, the gacha. They got what every mobile game needs now. And the problem is you can buy these boosts that give you in-game bonuses, essentially power-ups. You do get some for free every week, but there's a cap to how much you can earn as a free-to-play player. Whereas if you buy the gacha loot box, you can get the free in-game bonus that you can use to just dumpster on your enemies. So, pay to win.
Literally the worst design decision.
Literally, you don't want to do. Like, if you want to give people cosmetics, great. You want to give them all the characters at launch, give them that versatility, fine. But when you're actually in a match already, fuck it, this guy gets bonuses because he paid $20.
Wow.
This is a 10-cent mobile game. They want trash. China to play Pokemon is what this is.
That's
you know what? I'm not surprised. Because if anybody's, caught on to the theme here, we don't really like Pokemon.
The problem is I still like Pokemon. So side tangent here. I found a ROM hack of Fire Red that adds in like all the Pokemon up to Sword and Shield, and then also has Mega Evolutions in it, but it's still using the Pokemon Red engine. I think it's called Radical Red.
So like
I really want to try this. I already got an emulator on my phone, so I just need to patch the Fire Red ROM with this mod to see if it's actually playable. It's supposedly also really hard, so I'm excited because I still like Pokemon. I just don't like current Pokemon games. So I just want to make sure that distinction is out there.
That's fair. I also like Pokemon, but
Like,
hate everything that they do.
I like it as a franchise, but I don't like any part of the franchise.
Damn, maybe
Feels bad, man.
Maybe I should set this up for my my flight this weekend.
Oh, Radical Red? Give it a shot.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be
Nintendo, don't cancel us because I mentioned this.
Please
Anyway,
no.
let's move on. Let's talk about Guilty Gear Strive. Wait, they're already showing off DLC characters for this?
Showing off?
Didn't
it's
Donkey's
out.
just video
Wait,
just come out?
Strive's out? I've not been paying attention.
The
like
first
a week
DLC
ago.
character is out, dude.
Oh my goodness. Who's the first DLC character?
The Secretary of Defense for the United States of America, Gold Lewis Dickinson.
What?
Oh my god, it's been out for 2 months and I've just not been paying attention.
Yes.
Holy crap.
he looks awesome. Strive has been super fun.
Is he the busted hitbox everyone's memeing about right now?
Probably. Well, he just came out today, so like.
Yeah, they're probably memeing out a hitbox.
That's probably what the memes are about. So yeah, that's my fighting game news for the week.
Just throwing out there that the new character came out.
Yo, I gotta stay on top of the fighting games, man, until Dragon Ball FighterZ 2 comes out. My new love is Guilty Gear Strive.
Did they announce that?
No, but it was so successful. There's no way they're not fucking doing it.
Yeah, definitely. Dragon Ball Z and video games, they're a more iconic duo.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying the hell out of Guilty Gear Strive. It is very Guilty Gear. It's nice though, because Guilty Gear, they simplified a lot of the mechanics, but in a way that the mechanics now have a higher skill ceiling.
I was going to ask you if it feels too simple, because that was like the big concern everyone had before it launched.
Donkey seemed pretty high on it.
It is simple until you really start playing it, and then it's like, here's the red pill. I'm showing you how deep the rabbit hole is. Like, there's a lot going on, and like every character is so uniquely different from each other, and like their interactions, like there's like Dragon Ball FighterZ had a problem with like just generic, just an air of generic.
Everyone had like similar abilities, kind of thing.
Like, no matter what character you played, they always had an auto combo. And they always had like the basic bread and butter, and it aside from like 3 or 4 really weird characters, it was the same for all of them. Guilty Gear Strive, no character is like any other character, and it is very, very refreshing and a very good fighting game. You should play it.
I should get it. Get my ass handed to me.
Yo, I'm really digging the new characters. Nagoriyuki and Giovanna are just fucking killer. They're so much fun. She hulks out when she gets maximum gauge. It's great. And Nagoriyuki is a samurai vampire. It's fucking dope.
Oh, that was so weird. I clicked on the Guilty Gear Strive page, I entered the age, and then it dumped me on the Warhammer 40K game instead. Yeah. And I was like, what happened to Guilty Gear? This aesthetic doesn't look right at all.
My aesthetic.
The internet's broken. Another CDN is taking a shit somewhere. We're gonna lose like 20 websites.
Oh no. All right.
So yeah.
Speaking of oh no.
That's right. It's time, and I don't know if the soundboard's gonna work because it's time for the Weeb shit. Nope, no sound. God damn, it gave me a notice saying this might not work when you open it. I'm like, whatever. Imagine the WoW sound effect. First, the Weeb Olympics, aka Japan 2020, is happening. I thought I'd be joking about saying the Olympics are literally anime. So let's focus first. on the opening ceremony, which for the entire like parade of nations where all the athletes walk out, they went with exclusively video game music. It was all like reorchestration. So you had like several movies from like Legend of Zelda. You had the Final Fantasy Victory fanfare playing. You had Olympus Coliseum from Kingdom Hearts playing the most on-brand song you could pick, and then the one that the meme hunters over on r/meme hunters, aka the Monster Hunter meme subreddit, were losing their mind was Proof of Hero, the theme from Monster Hunter, because it didn't play in the live-action movie, but instead played at the Olympics this year, and they're this up. Anyway,
Japan knows what's up.
We thought that would be fine. We were good. We were like, all right, cool. They acknowledged that nerds watch the Olympics. But then it happened. They played Haikyuu opening 1 at one of the Japanese volleyball games.
Yeah.
And then it happened again during archery where they played the first Attack on Titan opening. And we just realized, oh my god, they're just playing anime music at the Olympics. And that's the full extent we'll get of anime Olympics. But I just wanted to point this out, that it's just, we're getting that cultural blend.
Sick.
I have one more addition to this. One of their casters is full on Jiraiya.
Wait, like dressed like, or is the voice actor for Jiraiya?
No, like dressed as Jiraiya.
Oh my god.
It's like, great, man.
Like this has happened before. I remember during the last Summer Olympics, I was watching on TV, and I'm like, why the fuck do I know this song that this one gymnast is doing this floor routine to? And I'm like, wait a minute. This is definitely from the Bleach soundtrack. And I had to look it up. It was a theme from the first Bleach movie. And I was just like, it's weird when it kind of connects. And
there you go. It's in general.
Speaking of, it's weird when it connects.
Oh my fucking god. Literally Jiraiya at the Olympics. What the? Anyway. So Weeb Olympics are happening. But in terms of actual anime news, and this one kind of coincides with the Olympics, because Taco Bell released this commercial specifically to air during the Olympics because they want to get on this anime goodness. Is Taco Bell commissioned an anime commercial with a plot line in the middle of it.
Also with Crunchyroll, by the way.
Well, Crunchyroll, I think, was it with them or they were just promoting it?
Either way, their name's on it, which is crazy.
More importantly, English VTuber Garaguda appears in the background of like one shot. So it means that English VTubers are a thing in the Taco Bell cinematic universe. Anyway, this whole commercial is just a giant parody here to show you that nacho fries are back. But the point is, it's very weird that Taco Bell's like, yes, this is what we're going to use the marketing money for.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, this commercial's kind of hype.
It's cool, but like they tried to squeeze the most generic anime plot line, like where it's like, oh no, my rival has appeared. It's like, ha ha ha, I'm with the evil army now. Can you defeat me? But it's also a 12-second commercial. So
yeah, so you mean anime?
Yes, but like they I'm sorry. Maybe it's supposed to come off like a parody, but it comes off like way too hard as a parody.
Yeah, I like this. It is a great commercial. I want nacho fries though.
Not gonna lie, it did kind of make me crave a bit after seeing that commercial.
Yo, Fry Force.
Marketing works.
Oh my god, dude.
It's so stupid.
Fry Force. Oh, this is gonna be a great Olympics.
Phenomenal. Moving on real quick to some of the others. I just did this on here so I could say the full title of the movie. But Fate Grand Order, Final Singularity, Grand Temple of Time, Solomon releases Friday in Japan. For those who are in the know about FGO, and actually for those who aren't in the know, because I'm going to recap it anyway, this is the final arc of the first like storyline of Fate Grand Order, where all the shit you've done in the previous 7 stories all culminates together in this giant battle against Solomon at the Grand Temple of Time in the final singularity of Fate Grand Order, aka the exact title I just read, but in reverse. Everyone is here. This is the Smash Bros. Of Fate movies. All these servants are going to be showing up for an 1.5 hour long fight sequence, and I am excited for it because it's done by the one studio that does really good action scenes in Fate shit, even though they don't know how to do stories in Fate shit. Regardless, I'm excited. We'll see when this finally leaks on the internet, but it sounds like it's going to be a little while. Moving on to the next big one. I was excited when this got announced. So the authors of Death Note, after doing Death Note, they went on to do Bakuman, completely different series, and then they came back like, we're going to do this manga called Platinum End, which seemed more in line with like the serious concept that Death Note had. But I didn't read into it because it's like, I don't want to know about this. Like knowing them, knowing how Shonen Jump operates, this will get an anime. I'm just going to hold off and see what happens. Within like a year of its serialization, they got an anime. or they announced they were getting anime. It's finally coming out, and Crunchyroll announced it's coming to their platform, and then they showed off the trailer. And I was horrified because the main character has this angel-looking character side by side with him in all the artwork, and it looks really cool. And then I hear her voice, and it's like fucking squeaky helium coming out of this angel, and it's like, no. I was expecting like a serious-sounding thing, and it's literally Paimon from Genshin Impact is like the secondary protagonist, and it's just like,
oh no.
Now I don't know if I can take it seriously, but I'm gonna watch it anyway because I love everything they work on. Moving on to the final one. Final real anime news before the real anime news. But we had already gotten leaks that there was another Dragon Ball Super movie in the works, but we hadn't gotten official confirmation. And then over the weekend at one of the Comic-Cons, there was a panel for Dragon Ball content, and they showed off a 15-second teaser of the new Dragon Ball Super movie called Dragon Ball Super Superheroes. And I read that title, and I'm just like, did they put Super next to Super? And the comments on Reddit are like, this is the creative team that brought you Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan as a power-up in the last series. So,
hell yeah, dude.
Naming scheme's out the window. Honestly, it might be a tie-in with Dragon Ball Heroes, which has been getting more and more popular in Japan. That said, the big takeaway is Goku is 100% CG in this teaser, and the frame rate's very choppy all over the place. So it brings up a lot of concerns that Toei Animation was like, man, everyone loved Broly. Let's just get this CG team to make another Dragon Ball movie, completely ignoring that the thing people really, really liked about the Broly movie was how good the animation was. So I'm hoping they recognize that as a thing, and this movie at least looks half decent. Because if they do this 12 frames per second CG bullshit for DBZ, or sorry, for Dragon Ball Super, I'm not going to be impressed.
I'm out. Out.
I already put up with it for some anime. I finished watching So I'm a Spider, So What? Honestly, CG was semi-passable. But it was bad. It was, in the grand scheme of things, it was pretty awful. It was worse than most bad anime in terms of animation, even if the CG was good. So you've got a really, it's not a low floor. It's really easy to disappoint with CG, and I feel like they're just going to.
I'm trying to find the footage. Or is it not online?
Dragon Ball Super superhero teaser trailer. It's on YouTube.
It is?
It's 30 seconds long.
I have a little bit of hope because in this teaser trailer, after that CG debacle in the first 15 seconds, they show off actual art style, actual art, and I'm really hoping that these are just that this is more than a concept for their 3D models. I just want to believe.
Honestly, I wasn't sure if that last shot was just shading on the CG model or it was hand-drawn blended, but the Goku doing his air quotes iconic stretch from Super just was so choppy in this.
I think the frame rate's bad, but I really don't think the model looks that terrible.
It's not, but it's just how it moves in motion.
Yes, it depends on how it moves, absolutely.
For example, take the last season of Attack on Titan. I thought Reiner's model looked fine. It looked kind of weird in motion. The Beast Titan was just a bad model that they used. And it just couldn't be shown well. So, you can have bad models, but it's all about just how you portray the motion, whether it's...
If they're going to do this, they got to call up Arc System Works.
They figured out the art of turning CG into looking like it's 2D. I forget which Guilty Gear it was when they first started using this technique. Everyone was mega. Exer was the first one where they were it's cell shaded. It's not going to be 2D sprites anymore.
I'm pretty sure Xrd is the first one that.
Yeah, the XX entirely. It went from doing pixel sprites to suddenly being 3D. Everyone was really outraged until they saw the first footage, and they're like, are you sure this is actually CG? It looks like this is anime. And they figured, there's this video, I forget which YouTuber did. We did a whole video about the art style of that game and how they physically made it work. And it's crazy how much they included stretch and squish into their CG models, which no one's doing. Everyone's very rigid when it comes to CG models. No one likes trying to imitate the squishiness of a 2D animation, but that's what you need to get these fluid style animations, and no one's doing that because it's just way too expensive. So yeah, let's get Arc System Works to do the next movie.
Yeah, that'd be great. Watching any of their games, if you don't tell people it's 3D models, most people wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah.
Like, the only giveaway is generally in the intros to like fights and stuff in their games, where they do like a pan around the 3D model.
Yeah, then you could tell because sometimes you'll have a shot where it's like, oh, that's definitely 3D. But then once it cuts to the fight, you're like, hold on, everything's flat again.
Yeah, it's black magic fuckery is what it is. I don't know how they did that.
It's crazy. Anyway, last one on here. This is. I don't have my music, so I can't make a giant meme out of it. But Best Girl 2021 on Reddit has completed. As I predicted, my Sakurajima from Rascal Does Not Dream Bunny Girl Senpai wins Best Girl. I actually went back and looked. I looked because in our show notes from 2 weeks ago, Tim, you had me write down who I thought was going to make to the top 8. I think I accurately predicted 6 of the top 8 and the overall winner.
Let me open it up just to re-verify. I'm pretty sure you're right, but you predicted. Where is it? Oh yeah, you said it was going to be Aqua Yui, Chika Miku, Hollow Darkness, and Mai Megumin.
Right, real quick. Hold on. I had Aqua, Chika. Wait, what did I have?
Oh, for the final 4? Oh, yeah.
No, I'm looking at top 8 right now. Or did I do final 4?
No, yeah, top 8 you did Aqua Yui from Group A, Chika Miku from Group B, Hollow Darkness from Group C, and Group D was Mai and Megumin, and then you said Mai was going to win.
Yep, I just missed, instead of where I put Darkness, Amelia ended up winning, and then where I put Miku because I was way too hopeful about quintuplets, Nishimiya Shoko from A Silent Voice, who ended up being the semi-finalist.
Yeah, that was crazy, the 37th seed.
People were just so salty about Aqua still doing well. Hollow got so close here. Anyway, I'm glad I could see it coming a mile away.
Let's be real. It was the bunny outfit. That's what did it.
Also, it was the first arc of that show because that show never gets better than that first arc.
So I looked into it a little bit just because I was looking to see how much the Blu-ray costs right now for the movie. But with each of the books in the series has an equally ridiculous title. Like only the first book is called Rascal's Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. The next one is like Rascal Doesn't Dream of Devilish Kohai. And it's about the girl who keeps kicking in the butt. I forget what her name is. Or like they all go on and on. Like the third one's all about Futaba. Rascal doesn't dream of a delusional sister or some shit with the fourth one. And then the last one, Rascal doesn't dream of a dreaming girl, which I don't know was the last one, the fifth one. The point is that became its own movie. But this naming scheme is just something else. Like I remember when The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya came out, and that book series did the same thing. Like the second one was called The Size of Haruhi Suzumiya, and the third one, The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya. But the problem is The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya was such an iconic name that when they came out with season 2, they're like, what do we call it? And they just went with Melancholy, and it set that trend of just name it after the first book until the movie. Which Haruhi did as well.
Let somebody go to their marketing team about brand recognition, please.
God. Anyway, that's it for the Weeb shit. Welcome back to the Weeb shit. We're going to talk about what anime we watched this week.
This should be pretty quick though, because we're in the middle of a season. No one there weren't too many things finished. I have barely played video games in the last few weeks.
Yeah. And I'm drowning in MMOs, so
yeah.
What show did I finish?
You have Aquatope on here. Is that?
Well, that's a new one. What did I? Oh no, I finished watching. First of all, I finished 8-6 since we last talked.
Yes.
Very good. Can't wait for season 2. I'm concerned what's going to happen next season.
Yes.
I finished watching. Here's the title: Hige Hero. After being rejected, I shaved and took in a high school runaway. Honestly, all things considered, despite how much of a controversy it started up in Japan, overall wholesome drama. I enjoyed it. Generally pretty trash, but I think this is safe to recommend to people. Except there's like a sex scene in episode 3. The kids, don't watch this one. Overall, I really liked it. But then the anime I started last night. So I was telling Tim, I was watching To Your Eternity and I ended on a cliffhanger. I was like, I don't want to watch some exciting shit before I go to bed. I need to fall asleep. What am I going to watch? And then I remembered that PA Works is doing an original show this season. And for anyone who doesn't know,
you and John talked about this.
I love PA Works because they do shows about real adult people struggling at their real adult jobs, is what I want to call the genre, but there's no fun name for it. And it started with Shirobaka, which was an anime about making anime, and the main perspective character is one of the animation director assistants. And it's just their perspective on the entire anime industry. And it was phenomenal. And then another one called Sakura Quest, which was all about trying to revitalize tourism or something. I don't know. I didn't watch that one, but oh boy, did I watch the YouTube clips. And they are it was I want to watch the show. I just haven't sat down to do it. And then they announced they're going to do another one. This one takes place at an aquarium. And I was like, all right, it's summer. There's no other show that has this aesthetic. I really, truly missed that one summer where Grand Blue Dreaming was airing, and I want to recapture that magic so much that I turned on this show, and oh boy, this was a feels trip on episode 1. I am excited. It's already announced for 24 episodes. This studio never fails to deliver. I'm excited for this. I'll let you guys know if it's actually worth watching later in the season or if it's too much of a Wonder Egg priority. We'll start using that phrase going forward. That was the only new show I had.
So you know it's not a letdown? Val and I were finally carried across the finish line by Tyler and Friedman to finish Vinland Saga.
Yes.
And
just in time for Farmland Saga.
And I because I've been trying to rate everything I watch on my anime list, not to just mark that I finished it. I gave this my highest non-Violet Evergarden rating of 9 out of 10. So Vinland Saga is really good.
Oh man, a 9 out of 10, quite prestigious.
Hell yeah, dude.
I was worried near the end, and I honestly am really interested to see where the show goes with where we end off at the end of the season. It's like this show can't possibly have any other surprises for us. And then
congratulations, that was this season was just the epilogue, apparently.
You mean the prologue?
Oh, not epilogue, prologue, just the prologue. So, like you thought the first 3 episodes were prologue, first 26 are the real prologue of the series.
You know, the show called Vinland Saga, and they don't even go to Vinland.
So I made a joke though to Tyler Freeman yesterday, where I was like, "Is this what it was like when you guys would finish Attack on Titan seasons and not have the next one coming? Because this is a pretty big cliffhanger where I want to see what happens next."
Yes, this is the hell we walk into when we watch these shows where it's just there's no season 2 confirmation. Like, I know you guys don't like ReZero as much as me, but like 5 years between the announcement, like it rivaled Attack on Titan, like and it sucked the entire time.
Well, hey, Konosuba also got its something.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to talk about it. Kadokawa had an event to announce an announcement about Konosuba, and they announced that Konosuba is getting an anime project. When asked to elaborate, they refused and left. They just were like, "We're not going to confirm. You don't know if it's a season. You don't know if it's a movie. You don't even know if it's an OVA. You don't know if it's 3-minute videos that we're going to put in front of movies because that's what Maid Dragon's doing now. You don't know, and you won't know until it comes out. Bye-bye. We're done talking about this." And that's how Kadokawa is treating this announcement, and it sucks because I just want to know what's coming next. Ouch, the point is we're getting something. Or is it going to... So Megumin actually has her own spin-off light novel series. I would fucking die if they announced that the Megumin spin-off was getting its own anime.
There's no way they would do that before a season 2. That would have to come after.
Before season 3, but I don't know.
Did we also miss the announcement that Shield Hero got delayed?
No, I think we talked about it a while ago.
Okay. You know, I watched Shield Hero, and it was really good. And then the longer it's gone on, the less I care.
Yes, it's lost what made it interesting in the first place.
Wait. You mean as you watched it, Aiden, or after having finished it, you
care
less?
After I finished it, now that the longer that we go between seasons with Shield Hero, I enjoyed the hell out of it. Like, I was super hyped for season 2 when I finished the show. Now I don't really know if I care.
Dude, welcome to the fall off that happens with anime. Like, no one wants to talk about this, but like, someone's looking at Blu-ray numbers, and like Attack on Titan season 1, like best selling of all time. Season 2 Blu-rays are like nothing special. That gap of time lost so many people's interest who just didn't watch follow-up seasons, and I can't believe it. But it's a thing. Like,
well, I think that's also why so many
popularity just
are
wins.
like, we have to just continue shows now because we see how these indecisive time losses are losing us money. Like, we need to jump on things and get them out within a year, get another season going. We can't keep letting things sit for so long.
Maybe fucking plan your shit out.
So for a while, these franchises like, it's fine, we'll just use a gacha game to keep interest, and they realize that doesn't fucking work. You need an anime too. And then Uma Musume proved it infinitely. And I hate that being the prime example of a gacha game and anime airing at the same time working, but here we go on our 4th Fate Grand Order movie in 2 years. Or sorry, 3rd movie. Point is, multimedia blitzes work. 5-year-long waits don't. Anyway.
Freeman, did you put this show or Aiden?
No, I didn't.
No, I did.
Okay.
I started watching Full Metal Panic.
Oh my god, Aiden, you have no idea how much I love Full Metal Panic.
I like binged the first 12 episodes.
Nice.
It's very good.
I always try to sell people on it, but it's got the problem that like season 1 is from 2004. So it's got that like early 2000s aesthetic down way too hard, and it's kind of off-putting to some people.
That's fine. Yo, I mean, it's fucking Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, no, it's if you watch like
shit, great.
any shows in the early 2000s and you can deal with the style, it's fine. But the real icing on the cake is after you're done with the first 24 episodes and you're done with Studio Gonzo. Kyoto Animation did the next 2 seasons. One is like a comedy side story one, which you can skip.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's I am told to watch that one.
I generally enjoyed it, but you have to go in knowing like these are all goofy side stories. It may kill the series vibe from season 1 and may also make the series vibe in season 2 a little weird if you spend 12 episodes watching comedy, but it's still good for characters.
That's what I'm told, but I keep being like led in the direction of like you should watch Fumofu.
No, definitely watch it. It makes the next season a little more compelling because it gives you more time to like understand what normal life is like for these characters. Because season 2 is just phenomenal. Like this is one of my favorite complete seasons of anime. It's a 10 out of 10 on my anime list for me.
Whoa!
Because of how much season 2 plays with your attachment to characters. And I hadn't watched an anime that was like really tugging at me for 12 fucking episodes. So definitely watch Full Metal Panic. Just tiny warning with what happened with Full Metal Panic. It went on hiatus for like 8 years, and the novels are still very popular, and they got rebooted, and they wanted to continue off of the second raid. So like, let's just do the next novel, just animate it, and they did, and it wasn't bad, but they like left it really wide open, and it didn't perform well enough to warrant another season. So we got like, I'm not gonna say the second raid ends on a conclusive note. It's almost like now none of the seasons end on any conclusive notes, and it just kind of hurts. So I'm just warning you about that. But it's still worth the watch. Like Full Metal Panic, Invisible Victory, actually really good, even with the janky CG.
All right, fine. God damn it, anime! You gotta stop this shit. Stop that, anime.
Like,
Finish your shit.
They actually convinced me to read the fucking novels for Full Metal Panic because, like, I was 16 and the last season was out. And I'm like, well, what do I do now? I guess there's books. I don't know. So I read up until what the end of the anime did. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me get book 5. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna shut down the English translations for this book series. So I had to go find a translation group online who was working on it and join their IRC server to be updated on when these books would finish being translated. And then I just never read them because college kicked in.
How many programmers in the world today got on the internet to find shit like that and got involved in learning how to do shit because they needed to learn to find this?
When they blocked porting at my college, I figured out how to download anime through IRC chat, and because of that, I ended up joining a fan subbing group for a year. So the internet's wild.
Yeah, you find yourselves in some weird places sometimes on the internet.
Also, Freeman, it's funny you mentioned that the show had a between season where it was tonally different, considering Slime just finished its run of that up to this new season.
Yes, I saw you making the face. I'm like, yes, it's the exact same thing you're probably experiencing with Slime, where it's suddenly serious again, and you're just like, whoa, hold up. It didn't feel this way recently,
fine.
So it's very jarring.
It didn't feel jarring whatsoever.
Gotcha. It may have helped that we had like 1.5 seasons of Slime normally before it.
I was gonna say it's up until like the end of the last season, Slime was always pretty lighthearted. So like, even the super serious shit is being treated super lighthearted right now.
I know, but you have shit like Rumi would just be like, "Oh, it's fine. We're just gonna incite a civil war," and it's just like,
yeah, but
buddy, calm down. You can't say that while smiling. Like,
except everyone else in the room is like, yeah, I agree with this plan. I'm on board with this plan.
Hey man, it's a good idea. Sometimes you just gotta burn the church.
God. All right, let's get through the end of this.
Oh yeah.
Aside from binging the shit out of Full Metal Panic, I've obviously been playing a fuck ton of Final Fantasy 14 still.
Fuck ton is like an understatement.
I'm in the end game now, baby.
Oh boy.
So I'm like working my way through all the end game raids and stuff, and it has been superb content. I must say. It's
nice.
really been some good shit. Like even though like the main story quest is out of the way, like the side stories about these raids and dungeons that you're doing are still very, very well written. And it's just like it's delightful to play through a Final Fantasy game because we just don't really have a Final Fantasy game going on right now. And I am super looking forward to 16 because it's the same producer.
I don't know. The PS5 needs to launch before I'll play that game. It hasn't launched yet, right? Like after console launches, you're able to buy it, and you can't.
Yeah,
so it must not have launched yet, right?
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work. But
I know. I just
we're
want to play
almost
that.
there. We're almost over the hump on that.
I just want to play Final Fantasy VII Intergrade already. Like I can't stand not being able to play this.
Yo, Intergrade was good.
At the same time, I don't actually want to go through the struggle of hunting down a PS5 right now. Like I'll just wait until it's available.
I saw one at my Walmart the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, is that what I'm doing this week? I was gonna say this weekend, but I'm busy this weekend.
There was only one, and it could have been a case of I was literally just key son of a bitch. So
gotcha.
I don't know. They're definitely not nearly as hard to come across as they were. Like even if you buy it from scalpers, like it's not even that much more over market price anymore.
Interesting.
But yeah.
Freeman, before you talk about your thing, I forgot that it's been 3 weeks since the last one, which means we actually missed a lot of shows starting this season that hadn't started by the last episode of the podcast. So I just wanted to throw out there a couple things I'm watching. So I mentioned Slime. Season 2 has started. Still very good. Still hilarious and still waiting for the plot to start. We had one meeting that took 3 episodes, and that was the entire start of the season. So not much has happened so far in Slime. Villainous is still fantastic. Literally ended last night laughing my ass off. It takes the dumbest situations possible, and through the stupidity of the main character, we made it through. Let's see. Freeman started us on Nichijou, which is very
Oh my
weird.
god, I forgot. Listeners, for anyone who wants an absurd, dumb Japanese comedy, Nichijou is the best. It's just dumb, absurd Japanese comedy. I can't recommend that enough.
I thought it was funny, but viewers, Luigi and Leslie were... one 5-second gag made Leslie and Luigi get each other into a cycle of cry laughing because the other was laughing so hard. I have literally never seen anything like this before.
Like, it wasn't a gag I thought that people would laugh at. It's more just like a ha kind of moment, and they just lost their shit.
Started crying.
And then there was a reference to an episode 2, and they just started crying a second time, and I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was like, oh, come on. The cool animation scene's about to happen and they can't breathe.
Dragon Maid Season 2 has also started. That is also quite a nice return to form. After the spicy ending of Episode 1, this show is just good. One I'm watching by myself, Luigi's also watching it, is real... Okay, hold on. I gotta get the full title.
Japanese title, please?
No. How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. This is like if Slime was reasonable. Where this guy from our world, who's a civil servant, gets isekai'd into another world, and they go... and he goes, hey, instead of trying to make me a fighter, why not just let me be a really good civil servant? And they go, okay, here's a kingdom. You're the king now. Be a good civil servant and redo our kingdom to be not shit. And it's honestly really, really a good time. Episode 4, half of it is spent on developing the first food channel in a medieval society via crystals. There is literally a food channel now. It's so
Yo,
funny.
this show's cast is fucking stacked. Oh my god. You've got Subaru as the main character. you've got. Okay, I don't know where you guys know her from, but one of the quintuplets is one of the main cast, and you got Rin from Fate Stay Night. There's a lot of good names in this. Yui Horii.
And then just to try to race through to the end, the last show that we started is probably Val's pick of the year, if not decade.
We use the title that Val said the other day that I think described the show better than its actual title.
Sure, I don't remember exactly what you're talking
about. She called them. She said the show is steampunk vampires who might be gay. And I think that was the most apt description for the show possible.
So for those who want to watch, it's called Vanitas No Cart, or the case study of Vanitas, and it is about steampunk edgy vampires who wear crazy colorful outfits and in the intro jump towards each other with their fingers outstretched towards each other all the time. And it's honestly, it's a good ride. There's good world building. There's like some of the over the top scenes that this main character does, that this main duo does, but like the one who's over the top, and you can guess which one it is as soon as you see the intro. It's the one who loves to be flamboyant even in the intro. It's honestly fun. Val resonates with this show very much from her younger days of loving all things vampire. But honestly, it's fun even for me. I'm certainly not enjoying the show. I would recommend it to people if anyone wants to watch it. But I'll do the full roundup in like 2 months when all these shows end for the season. And Freeman mentioned To Your Eternity is still going very strong. Probably going to end on a 9 out of 10 with this show if it sticks the landing. But it's been a brutal ride so far. Anyway, now Freeman, you can talk about your game.
Anyway, so Witcher 3. I want to deliver the controversial news that I'm considering putting Witcher 3 on hold. While I am still having a lot of fun, I've spent a lot of hours on this, and I'm starting to realize I'm putting off playing any other games because I'm playing this. It was the other night I was getting through some of the main story quests, and I realized like Witcher 3 is interesting in its progression, but I feel like from a gameplay perspective, I've done the same thing a lot for multiple hours. I'm at the point where it's not that I'm not having fun, but I kind of want to do something else. So I'm going to put Witcher 3 on hiatus for a little bit. And I think part of the reason why is because there's like 2 games I'm debating on playing next. The first one is Astral Chain, which I got for Switch at launch. Couldn't play because I was busy with Persona 5 Royal and just have been putting it off. And one of my friends was reminding me how fun it actually was. So I want to play that. And the second one is the fact that for anyone who listened to our Best Games of All Time episode, I put the Nintendo DS RPG The World Ends With You very high up on this list. Now, the game got a sequel announced for Switch, PS4. I don't think it's for PC. Point is, sequel came out. I saw the original trailer. I thought it didn't look that good. I was like, I don't know if this really captures the magic of the original game. Reviews are pouring in. And apparently it's the opposite. Apparently it's a really good sequel, and people are loving it. Like, everyone who played the first one was like, yes, this is a good addition to the series. So I'm kind of sitting here like, damn, I barely remember the plot of the original game. I've been keeping up with the anime, but the anime does such an awful job of tying the gameplay and story moments together that it just comes off really hollow. So I kind of want to replay The World Ends With You. But I also have the Switch version, so I need to decide, do I want to attempt to load up the original DS version and play through it, or play it on Switch so I can play the sequel knowing everything that happened in the original, because I haven't played it in like 15 years. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I don't want to play Witcher 3 right now. I still love the game, and I left myself at a good point where I can jump in at any moment, because I didn't leave too many plot hooks dangling. I'm kind of right at the beginning of the next section. So I'm going to put it on hold until one day where I'm like, hey, I feel like playing Witcher. I'm just going to turn it on and jump in, because I feel like it's really easy to do that with this game.
I don't know if that's true.
I mean, I've already done it twice where I've taken 2 month hiatuses from gaming in general because of work shit. I'm in Skellige. That's the name of the island area.
Skellige.
So you're in part 3 of the tutorial. Got it.
No.
Yes, I'm like mid 20s here. Out of what, level cap is 40 in the base game or something?
There's no level cap, but you generally end around 30.
Gotcha. Which is weird, because I'm starting to pick up quests that are like, hey, level 34. So I don't know. Maybe that's expansion territory.
You know, if
some of it is
you could
the expansion
do
stuff is there
that
right
stuff
away.
Yeah, I know. They like dump the quest right on you. It's like, well, I can't really do this right now. I'll be back later.
Yes, do not.
But yeah, I want to reiterate. It's not that I'm not having fun. It's that I just kind of want to do something else for a little bit and jump back to this because I can definitely see myself jumping in and not having an issue. So I'm gonna capitalize on this asset.
I will say I can kind of get that because Skellige is like you spend so much time because you're having fun. I get it. It happened to me where White Orchard, you clear it really quick. You take a day, you clear White Orchard of literally everything. Then you go to Velen. And you do Novigrad, and you do all that shit, and you strip mine that shit, and you're like, haha, I have finished the game world. This is where we're gonna be forever. That's how I did it, at least. And then we go to Skellige, and it's like, there is so many question marks in the fucking water. I am not dealing with this. Skellige is too much water, and there's not enough interesting shit to do.
Yeah, no, I started doing the explore all of Velen strategy. Like, let's do all the outskirts, and then I started hitting areas that are just way above my level, and it's like, all right, let's only go the other direction. Then it happened again, and I was kind of annoying. Like maybe I'll just come back to this when I'm stronger and clear everything. Because right now I'm already 4 levels over what the recommend levels for the story quests. So like, let me catch up on story, and hopefully it brings me enough places to get more quests that are in my level range. And I figured that was the loop I would go through, and I made it through a bunch of story quests in a row, and it's like, all right, I'm kind of ready to pause right now. This is like the 5th consecutive follow Yennefer through the field that has the magic thing in it.
You know, I think this is a huge aside, but I think it was a mistake for them to include all of the question marks on the map.
Oh, like by default?
Yeah. Like maybe have an option to turn it on, but like I feel like that is very distracting to people. And
having done the loop Friedman is describing, where I got on Roach and got every question mark in Velen, including running like through the camp of the Empire of Nilfgaard at the southern end of the map.
It's so easy to burn out.
Yes,
but here's the thing: like even though they show a bunch of them, like it's not all of them. Like there's a couple where you have to like go to the billboard first before they're on the map. So like that's even more daunting. As it starts off with a lot and it becomes just more.
All the location question marks is just so much.
Yeah, there's a shit ton of them. Like I have not touched the southwest of Velen because I'm like it's just all question marks. Like I'm good right now. I'm already over level. I still have all the quests in the universe.
So you know what's really funny? It almost makes you appreciate Ubisoft's fucking climb the tower to unlock all the stuff in the region thing.
That has the same exact problem, actually.
How?
Because you climb the tower, because it's the same issue that Friedman just brought up with the notice boards. You climb the tower, and here's 50 new fucking icons on your map.
None of them were. There was nothing there. Like, imagine if the southern end of Velen had one mark, and that was the Eagle Tower or whatever, or the Witcher sign or whatever shit you wanted to do. And it was like they had the like, you know how each region, like Freeman, you said you were finding enemies who were too high level. Imagine if each region kind of had a recommended level. Like when you go to the world map, they're like, you're not going to go to Carrot.
They show you like how far away from this area you should really explore.
Well, but they're also like, even on the world map, they're like, you've seen oh my god, why am I forgetting the name of my favorite region in the Toussaint? You see Toussaint on the map immediately when you have the DLC, and it's like, be level 40 to come here or some shit. And you don't go there until you actually take the DLC quest. You can't just go there. But, like, if only on the sub-maps they had sections like, here's a piece of Velen. Don't come here until you're level 20.
Or like have a whole region where it's just like 25 plus or something, just on the map, so you know right off the bat.
You a little.
It's I get the concern. Like the exploring is really nice, but what's not fun is being like everything's level 10. Oh my god, it's level 34. Cool, I gotta run away. Like it's cool, but at the same time, like please, I'd rather not.
I like how Breath of the Wild did it too much. They like perfected exploration, and I hate it.
What do you mean?
Nothing else compares to it.
Like just nothing else compares to it, because it's like, imagine doing the same thing in Breath of the Wild. Right? It's like, here's the giant Korok shit. If you climb it, we'll show you where all the Korok seeds are. Like,
well,
it's just
they also had.
I mean,
tiers.
granted, they developed that in a much different way.
Yeah.
And had like level scaling, which you can turn on in Witcher, by the way.
I'm sorry, what?
You turn on level scaling?
Does it make things that are too weak for you just at your level? What does it do with ones that are already stronger than you?
If they're stronger than you, I believe if they're stronger, they stay stronger, but if they're weaker, they scale up. I can't remember.
Oh, I guess that might make it more fun if you're like going through like shittier side quests and don't want to just steamroll it.
Yeah, like it at least normalizes like the gameplay, so it's not like. Although I'm a big fan of like, I'm a literal monster slaying god now, and I just one shot all of the drowners at the beach in White Orchard. Not like you ever go back there, but like
No, that was I loved. I ran through a bandit camp that was like level 8, and I'm level 22. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be fun. It's just literally blindly swinging, and people are dying. Like,
yeah, it's a good time every once in a while. But like too much of that, like in a row, it's like, all right, story, yada yada yada. Come here, whirlwind the fuck out of all the enemies. Next story, whirlwind more enemies. Like, I don't know. The best thing that I think Witcher, like, I enjoy Witcher combat a lot, even though I know that might be an unpopular opinion, but I played through the whole thing on Death March, and like it was a big part of the game, like having that constant challenge in front of you and not just being able to like face roll a lot of it through like story quests and stuff. I mean, granted, like, you do out-level the story. That's kind of just a weird thing that Skellige does, because you can go to Skellige a lot earlier than I think most people generally do, because you can go there at like level 15.
Yeah, the first storyline quest is only like level 14.
Yeah, so like they kind of
Velen,
did it.
you can...
Well, yeah, well that's the thing. They like give you this massive open world to explore, and there's so much to do there. Like the only reason that you even have to go to Skellige is for the story. Like you can get to level 30 just
in Velen. Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that.
So I don't know. It's just, I think it has a weird pacing problem with that. Like where Skellige is just kind of, it's just kind of there, and unless you go there at the appropriate time, it kind of feels out of place a little bit. Granted, there are a lot of important things that happen in Skellige. You should do all of them, but
yeah, I am. I'm treating like I did the last map. It's let's find all of the fast travel points and everything around them.
Hell yeah.
But honestly, it's just I want to take a break just so it stays fresh. I don't want to burn out on this game because I do like it. I do have fun. So I want to get the most enjoyment out of this already long game.
Yeah, it can be rough. I have 250 hours and I still haven't touched Toussaint yet.
Oh man.
Come on, Aiden.
I'm sorry.
It's a long game.
No, I get it. I just I played through the entire game once. I probably will again someday. I have no idea when, and that might literally never happen. But hands down, Toussaint was my favorite part of that game.
Yeah, I can imagine. Toussaint was the best part of the books too.
Dude, Toussaint is so fun. I mean, like the greatest character in the books, Geralt's best friend other than Dandelion, only shows up in this game in Toussaint.
Oh, are you talking about oh god, what the fuck is his name?
Yes, that guy.
Probably.
That guy, the one that is like really
what?
That one, the old guy.
Is he known for his herbs?
Yes, the herbalist. Yeah, that one.
Oh, Aiden, he is so on point in Toussaint.
Oh my god, he has such a Regis. That one.
Yes, I thought you were trying not to say the name for Friedman, even though it doesn't mean
fine.
anything to him.
I don't care.
Because you're never gonna read the books, Friedman.
Dude, I'm 3/4 of the way through the first book. I'm eventually gonna finish this. There's just not enough time in the day.
Wait, like the first novel or the first book of short stories? Because those are two very different places.
The first book of short stories. Whichever one was the first in the series, everyone always recommends you start with.
Yeah, I mean, you should start with the short stories because it gives you a lot of world building.
Yeah, I remember the release order is not the same as read order.
Did you watch the show? Did you watch the Netflix show?
I did. Oh, did you guys see the trailer? I forgot to bring up. There's a trailer for season 2.
Oh fuck, is there?
Yeah.
You not see it?
No.
Yeah, dude.
Witcher season 2 trailer. Yeah, let's check this shit out.
All right, we'll watch with you after the podcast. So we can.
Yeah.
We should. We're at the wrap up point anyway.
We should wrap. But yeah. So Freeman, when are you gonna make your decision by next podcast on what you're gonna start playing? You're gonna already be playing by then.
I mean, I was thinking of making a decision tonight. I'm just gonna do Astral Chain next because I have it on hand. I'm kind of ready to go.
Dude.
Even though I do really want to play World as Duo, I'm like, you know what? I was so excited for Astral Chain, just couldn't play because I was busy. So it's like, let me see what the hype was about.
Astral Chain is one of the best games on Nintendo Switch. You can't change my mind.
Wait, hold on 1 second. No, I'm not trying to change my mind. I'm just curious how long it takes to beat this game.
All right, well,
it's not very long. It's like 15 hours, if that.
So thanks for listening, everybody. Maybe next time Tyler will be back. Oh, we forgot to go IRL for a second. So.
Oh yeah, if you want to talk about real events, go ahead.
So for those listening at home, obviously we talked last year about how me and my wife Val got married last year. Our long belated real quote unquote wedding party is happening this weekend, and everyone on the podcast is coming, obviously.
Hey.
And yeah, so this weekend we'll be officially having a big party. And then next week there will be no podcast, partially because we'll be off on our honeymoon that has been also long delayed. So yeah, that's obviously doesn't explain no videos because there hasn't been videos for a long time anyway.
Eventually those will return.
Yes, eventually those will return. I'm planning on doing like a vlog or something in the near future to finally address where I've been for so long. Why it's only
state of the channel
for so long.
Hey man, life comes at you fast sometimes.
Yes, very true. But either way, thanks for listening, everybody. It's been a wild ride to think I'm getting remarried to the same person for the second time. When I created this channel, I had never dated anyone before. That's a
Tim's
crazy
already
thought.
on his second marriage to the same person.
Yeah, please. I don't want to be reminded how old
how long it's been.
Yeah,
Even though
time is just.
Yeah, I was gonna say time is a lot.
Time sucks. Don't learn the concept of time.
Don't learn the concept of time.
Just let it go.
How long has this podcast been?
Stay delusional. Trust me, it's worth it.
Absolutely.
But thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and hopefully with Tyler. But until then, my name is Timpedia.
I'm Friedman.
Fake Tyler.
We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening.